So hey guys, welcome back to Ponderings from Palm Coast. I'm Mark Webb, and today we're in your city hall. We're in the place that amazing things happen. And I have the opportunity to have with me Brittany Kershaw and Shannon
Priscilla Martin.
The
first.
And they are the link between the exciting things that are happening here in the city and things that are going on. I personally got a chance to meet both of them because, as you know, I have just paraded the opportunity of going to the Citizens Academy here in Palm Coast as a bridge to understand the city. And you ladies are a key part of that success. And I think it's really important for you to know what's happening in your city hall. If you've heard me 100 times, it's your city, it's your money. You can participate. Everything is as transparent as these guys try to be. So today, I wanted to take some time to introduce you to them and have you guys share what's happening with the city, what's going on, but I always love to ask this question. Are you an original Palm Coaster? Or are you from somewhere else like everybody else?
I'm pretty close. My husband is a true Palm Coaster. He's born and raised here. I moved here when I was 4 from South Florida.
I think that counts, guys. What do you think, 4?
I went all through school here from kindergarten to graduating from FPC. I did leave for a few years, went to college in Tampa, but came back, started our family, and now we're raising our kids here.
Wow, it's amazing.
That is.
So you got a lot out. You got a lot of years here.
I love Palm
very
Coast.
exciting. I've been here like 5 years.
Yeah.
So, Shannon?
So I'm originally from New Jersey, Kearney, New Jersey, and we moved. You're from Kearney?
New Jersey.
New Jersey, okay. So we moved down here because my grandparents moved from Jersey to live in Key West, and they heard about, I think they saw some weird commercials about come to Palm Coast, and they came here and they just fell in love with it, and then we followed, and I think I was 11 or 12, and it's pretty cool. I like it. I don't have any complaints.
Yeah, the experience and the transition of Palm Coast 20 years ago, when it was clearly a villages type retirement community, to where we're headed. And I have this conversation with many people talking about the challenges that we face as a retirement community wanting to become a full-fledged city. And we still have a lot of citizens here that retired here, that came here, and aren't big fans of the direction. And I think over time it's inevitable, and I say to them, progress is something that can't be stopped, but controlling it and working with it and helping it along is where the value is. So let's dive into Palm Coast, the city, and what do we have? What kind of benefits? What kind of things should a citizen of this city understand and know about the quality of life here and the support that the city, just works so hard to let people know about. And I'm trying and working hard, whether it be, got a hurricane out there right now, right? We have challenges with infrastructure and things that we're clearly working hard to do. So let's start with the Citizens Academy. I hear that has gotten just so excited, and I'm hearing that it's full for a while.
Yeah. Our next session starts in September, and it's already full. We do it twice a year, so there is opportunities if anyone's interested to sign up on our website for the Citizens Academy and as you said earlier, it's a peek behind the curtain. It's a opportunity for our residents to see that it's not just what happens in this room that impacts our residents, but it's more of what happens in all of our 10 departments. We have a really big responsibility to maintaining the quality of life and to making sure that you can get where you need to go in a reasonable amount of time. And we hear a lot about the traffic here, but I've lived here for most of my life, but I've been to a lot of other cities that Palm Coast does not have traffic like those, thankfully. But I think that Citizens Academy is a really good opportunity, and we've never really had anyone go through it and be like, man, that was a waste of my time. They all come through it and they're like, wow, I had no idea all of the things that that the city was doing. And so we definitely encourage people to sign up. We know it can be a bit of a wait because we do fill up very quickly. We can only have about 35 people in each class, and it is a big commitment. It's 7 weeks for 2 hours a day every Monday. And you kind of go from place to place throughout the city. We come here for certain departments. We'll go to the wastewater and water treatment plants, public works, the fire station. You get to see pretty much every department in their natural habitat and what they actually get to do, and you hear directly from the people who are doing the work. So it's super beneficial. We also, for those of you who just can't wait, we do have a virtual Citizens Academy that's on our website that you can go and kind of take a peek at. We're actually revamping it right now, so if you're listening to this, maybe give us a couple weeks and we'll have an even better one, but it is already out there so that you can kind of take that peek yourself if you're not.
Or if you're watching this in the future, maybe you're waiting for it to be revamped and it's already been revamped.
That's true.
So we don't know.
We never know.
We're not going to know.
So you were saying about trying to put more of an online availability to see what's going on behind the curtain?
Yeah, it's available online right now.
Right.
We're trying to make it more interactive because there's really nothing beats the real thing, But for whatever reason, if you can't come out here, or if you're on the waiting list and you want to get some information to look behind the curtain before you get to come in here, there are presentations available online, but it's worth the wait. I've seen people come in here and they try to try to do skipsies. They want to do it again, or they're like, "Hey, I went through it."
As they wear their shirt, you go.
Yeah. I'm telling my
I got
husband.
that at the thrift store.
Yeah, they're like, I went through it. I told my husband all about it. Can he come into the next one? And then maybe I want to go to the fire station again. And, it's hard to do that. Like I said, there is a very long wait list.
Sure.
But so that is a resource if you just want to learn some more information, but it's worth the wait. Get on the wait list. And, sometimes a couple weeks in, for whatever reason, if somebody has an emergency come up or they can't finish the course, we can always reschedule that type of a thing if there's an occurrence like that. And then, stay on the wait list. It's worth the wait.
And just so you guys know, it is offered twice a year, and in the fall, it's in the afternoons from 1 to 4, and in the spring, it's in the evenings from 6 to 9. So if one of those fits your schedule better than the other, then you would just sign up for the session that.
Have you thought about expanding it?
Like a
Yeah.
midnight session? No.
So we used to offer it 3
something.
times a year.
Did you?
It's become a challenge a bit because it is a very large strain on resources, especially when it's either of them. If it's after hours, then you're having staff stay after their normal workday to provide this to the residents. And when it's during the day, it's taking away from their normal duties that they would be doing during those hours. So as we've kind of pulled back a little bit, kind of in the post-COVID era, things have gotten a little more lean, and so we dropped it down to twice a year. And we actually only used to offer it at night, and we now offer it in the afternoons because for a lot of people who don't like to drive at night, the afternoon sessions work better for them.
The group, the citizens that live here.
Yeah.
I hear it a lot, and I agree. And I went to the Citizens Academy. Graduated, I went in the evenings, and it was amazing to me the commitment and resources that were made available for us, from cleaning up and cleaning out and presenting and availability of all the employees to ask questions is a big ask. And it's real money. And it is a commitment by us and the citizens. Maybe, and I know, I was wondering about this, and I talked to Peter, I think, at the utilities. And we were talking about the possibility of having, or contemplating having an area that would have a big screen with the presentations that all the individuals are doing, talking about what's going on, and maybe an opportunity to feel like they could see some of the plan, and especially when we get this new building finished and get out of that shack that we're repairing all of our cars and vehicles and fire trucks. I mean, it's just amazing, the opportunity and growth that you don't even know that's going on. So the other things that are going on, I know we had talked about the online presence, right? And the Connect that I work with, and you and I have talked about it, on my phone is not as friendly. Tell us what's going on in that area. How are you, kind of exciting things are going on in that area?
Yeah, so last year, actually, during our strategic action plan process, which is when city council kind of tells their top priorities, one of them was continuing to increase the citizen engagement and the communication with our residents. And so Vice Mayor Pontieri actually spearheaded the idea of accelerating the mobile app. So a mobile application for the city of Palm Coast that has all of the services that you need, anything that you would potentially need to contact the city right in your phone, right at your fingertips. And so our IT department is actually building it in-house, which is very exciting. Instead of taking the cookie cutter templates that a lot of other cities have, it'll be integrated right into our system so that when you're using Palm Coast Connect, which is our citizen-centric customer service portal, you'll be able to connect directly into your account so that we'll know your address, we'll know any history at your address, if you've had pet tank issues or stormwater issues, those sorts of things, so that when you need to contact us, you can do it right on your phone. It comes directly to the department who needs to provide that service to you. So it doesn't have to be filtered all the way, you call customer service, they transfer you to code enforcement and all of those. It'll go straight to the source so that you can get your service technician out there quicker to be able to address whatever is going on. And that is set to be rolled out by the end of this year.
Well, that's exciting, because if I were to put in a case, like, I don't know, I'll take you back to the recycling container drama 2 years ago. Wasn't that so much fun bringing that up?
Heart palpitations.
Oh my God. And I followed the rules, and my disappeared with the old, put in a request for another one. A month later, without my knowledge, it was canceled. And then I put in another one. And in proactivity, I was asking the question, it was available. I could dig down into it and find out how and why it got canceled, but it wasn't readily available to understand. And I think one of the things, and I believe this is going to be huge, is that once you put in a case for whatever the issue is, you can watch it and you can track it and you can see if it gets closed, why it got closed and how, because that information's there. It's just not readily apparent. So that's exciting.
And also, when the case is closed, or I think at any time during the process, can't you leave comments? And there's a survey afterwards, so you can tell us exactly how your experience was, or if you ran into any hiccups all the way, and then we can kind of address it in the moment.
Right.
And those surveys that you get at the end, I know everybody has survey fatigue at this point. You get a survey for everything, but the surveys at the end, especially of your Palm Coast Connect cases when they're closed, are really important because they get triage back to the department who handled the issue, and depending on the rating, if you give them anything less than a 3, it's going up to the manager level. That's being addressed and looked at so that they
Right.
can improve for future services. So if you had a great experience, go ahead and give us a 5. We love that. But if you had any issues at all, that's a great opportunity to share it with us so that we can address it going forward.
And you're so true. And I learned that part at the Citizens Academy because I was sitting there and they were tracking the numbers and they were showing how fast when a case was put in, the turnaround time, and it's all measured, the metrics. It was amazing.
Yeah, we have key performance indicators for all of our cases, and it's something that the departments track. And that's a metric that the city manager looks at to make sure that we're doing the job that we are signed up
Absolutely.
to do. Our mission is delivering exceptional service by making citizens our priority, and she's very on top of making sure that if there is an issue, it needs to be addressed. And she implemented a lot of those changes in Palm Coast Connect that track throughout the process so that people know what's going on and they don't have to wonder.
I think that the challenge for the aging population that we have is you already have a built-in challenge of use and being friendly. But it is there and it is available, and it saddens me sometimes when I hear people stand in front of the dais or in a conversation about, well, I put in a case for this and nothing happened. Well, what happened? I don't know. Did you look into it? Oh, can I do that? I mean, the information is there. And coming out of the technology world within the Boeing company, it was all about data. It was all about the success and the turnaround of building an aircraft and whatever. And you guys are close to being right there. And we saw that a lot within the Citizens Academy when we were looking at vehicles that were down for repair and maintenance. And they knew when it came in, what parts were ordered, how to get that done. And the data was amazing what's going on. And I applauded all of them for doing that. And also, as some of the departments over the past many years, the City Hall and our elected officials have robustly attempted to keep the millage rate and the cost of the citizens down. And there's been sacrifice at your level with that. I can tell you, I've talked to all the directors that went, they are experts at doing more with less. And I know that recently there's a conversation about even in your department seeing that you're possibly going to lose some support in that area. And then, of course, they're going to ask you to do 10 times more than you're doing now. How do you deal with that kind of situation? Do you just kind of already got 6 months lead time and you're seeing where your talent is?
No, it's a challenge, but I think you're seeing it everywhere. Everywhere the cost of everything's going up, but expectations are not going down. They're going up too. So doing more with less is not practical. But I think we're trying to work smarter and utilize the technology, use the things that are at our disposal if we can to try. But there's going to be a point where, you can't do more with less, and services will have to be adjusted to meet the reality. And that's something that I think all of the departments are having to deal with.
Well, and I think people who come from New Jersey or come from Seattle or other areas. And I grew up on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, so I know weather is that trump card that none of us are prepared for. You can do your best, you can budget, you can prepare, and then you get a Hurricane Milton that gives us 11 inches of rain, and you guys are trying at your level. And I was very curious, when you guys had, and you made that decision to make that call to let the citizens know that we all needed to work together, that we all knew that we had a 1,000-year reign, whatever it was, and we all need to be focused. Well, did you learn anything from that exercise? Did you take a kind of relook at that event to understand how to better prepare or inform citizens?
I think it all comes back to education and letting the citizens know. Citizens Academy is a great avenue that we talked about, but every opportunity that we have to educate the public on how the stormwater and wastewater systems work. A lot of people don't realize that when you have a tremendous amount of rain, it does seep into your wastewater plant. Not because it's going Do you
Wrong.
want us
It just
to pause?
does. So, and I bring that up because I'm a big believer in participation of every citizen for the betterment of your neighbor and those around you. And when we got the call to control water and do that, that wasn't a new thing to me. Like I said, I grew up on the Outer Banks, of weather and whatever, power, and you get to know your neighbors pretty quickly when you go 3 or 4 days, and you've experienced that here in the past many years to know that. And that's really when citizens pull together and they help each other and they check on each other and do that. But it was an aha moment.
Yeah, I think it is an educational experience for our residents, learning that, you know, there is that infiltration, that the stormwater can enter the wastewater plant. The wastewater plant can only process so much. You know, you don't build a wastewater plant to handle 14 million gallons a day if your average is 6 million a day.
Right.
It's 6 million gallons a day.
And no big recovery tank is going
Right.
to protect you from that, no matter how big it is.
Thankfully, we did get state appropriations to get an EQ tank, one of those equalization tanks to hold, you know, millions of gallons of water if this were to happen again,
Sure.
that sort of thing. And we're going through the expansion of the wastewater plant. But I think your point to the community coming together, if you're home and it's during a storm, I don't think that it is, you know, the end of the world to not do laundry for a couple of days. Hopefully.
Absolutely.
If you know that you're benefiting your neighbor, you're benefiting your entire community, and you're helping the system recover. And I understand it's an inconvenience, and we definitely got a plethora of feedback on how people felt about that, which is
It's
understandable.
my favorite word.
Plethora?
Yeah, oh yeah, I use
Feedback.
it all the time.
But I
My
do,
wife hates it, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
But
She'll know that.
I do think that it was a good educational experience. And I also think, to your point about this having happened in past years, we had a really big influx of people come into Palm Coast since 2020.
Yes.
And maybe they hadn't experienced that before, you know? And so it's their first time going through it, and they're confused and they're upset and they're scared, and
Their
all of
clothes
those,
smell.
yeah, all of those things can, you know, pile on top of each other and make you a little bit unsure of what's next. So I think us as a city government doing a better job communicating next steps, you know, in that process in real time, it was hard to say that if you just can hold off on doing laundry today, you can do it tomorrow. We weren't at that point because we didn't know.
Right.
And so saying like, can you please hold off till Monday? And then they're like, oh no, I have to go a whole weekend without doing laundry or watering my grass or whatever the case may be. But I think if we continue that education and that open communication, that hopefully it'll go a little smoother next time, if there is a next time.
Well, there will be a next time. We live in Florida. Today, I get a call from my wife. She's in Seattle, and she goes, oh my God, are y'all going to get hit by this
Yeah.
hurricane? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a fish hurricane, but the perception,
Yeah.
the news and the belief. And
Well,
I
that's-
thought,
That's some of the problem too, is that, you know, there's new people that have never experienced a hurricane, but then there's a lot of people who have been through so many storms, and they're like,
They get
this
numb
is gonna
to it.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have lose power for maybe a day. And then when it's a few days longer than that, they're not prepared for it.
Sure.
So, you know, like Brittany said, we took that experience and we've just amped up our messaging, our pre-messaging, and we're trying to get ahead of things, because
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
don't know. And
over
being
experience can be a
prepared-
weapon against yourself too.
oh,
'Cause-
sure, sure. And I'm on that side of the curve. I've been through probably 15 hurricanes, and 99% of them were,
Rain and
Whoops.
wind.
Yeah.
Rain and wind.
and then that one
Yeah.
was 50-mile evacuation to get off the coast.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But you've got to do something, right? You've got to let people know. And that's what I applaud you guys in trying to prepare for. And that is a challenge. Most people that move here from somewhere else have no idea. Now, we don't get big snowstorms. We don't have ice storms. We don't have But when you tell someone to not use their toilet, they go into this shock
Yeah,
mode. And
sure.
I think you guys have done a great job of trying to inform and move forward and let people know that it's not an if, it's a when. It's gonna happen. And we're trying to do that, but you choose to live in Florida.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know-
Brittany has a vast experience in emergency and crisis communications, so she's prepared for anything.
Well, we try. I mean, we try and prepare as much as we can. And when we do have a hurricane, it's all hands on deck. This room actually becomes our emergency operations center. It flips around all of the policymakers and all of the directors. Everybody is hunkered down here throughout the storm. 24 hours. We sleep here.
Sure.
And we're constantly, messaging as much as possible, talking to the local media, talking to the radio station, who is they're actually linked into Flagler County's EOC, and I talk to them several times a day throughout the storm to make sure. So knowing where to look, knowing what channels to pay attention to during those things can help ease the tension too, because then you're actually getting relevant information. And we do have our emergency
definitely.
preparedness guide that we actually worked with Flagler County on to revamp last year, and it's got tons of information. And I know we're talking a lot about hurricanes, but we've got wildfires, we've got tornadoes,
Just how about
Love bugs.
tornadoes and love bugs?
I don't think we got love
Oh, we
bugs
got
here.
those afternoon thunderstorms
Oh,
that
yeah.
can turn into something really, really big, lose power for a while. And you've got,
So the emergency guide it's on our website, palmcoast.gov. It's also on flaglercounty.gov, and it's at pretty much every public facility. So the library, you can get it at City Hall, the community center, any of Flagler County's, the general services building and the courthouse. Pretty much any public building has them stocked. And you can always get them at City Hall. They're always in here if you come to a public meeting. So they're readily available, and they're on the websites.
so how's the budget challenge going? You guys are getting close to being done with it, huh?
Yeah, we're going through all of the funds with City Council. We just went through a bunch more this past Tuesday, and the public hearings are coming up in September, so we'll have 2 public hearings for residents to come in and ask questions, or City Council to make any kind of final tweaks. They've set the maximum millage rate, which means it can't go any higher, and they set it the same as it is this year. It can still go lower if they choose to, but yes, the budget is, we were kind of ahead of the curve this year, got things in order pretty quickly. The city manager has given City Council a couple of different options on certain things, so this will be wrapping up here in the next month, and it'll be set to kick off October 1st.
Well, and I do think it was prudent that Lauren was able to reach out and get some help for a few months so that she could get focused on her duties. A lot of people, surprisingly, have shared with me they had no idea what our government concept was. They didn't know what a weak mayor or a strong mayor was, and it wasn't until this conversation has been going on about the charter and these kind of things have started, hopefully, and I've lit a fire in some of them to understand what the roles are, because a lot of people come from New Jersey and New York and other areas, and they just don't have the concept or understand of how our government runs.
Right.
So they make these assumptions, and they don't realize that the day-to-day operations and how the money is spent and how it's organized is done by our city manager.
Right. Yeah, the budget is set by City Council, but then the city manager is basically the CEO, and that is who runs all the departments and everything operationally.
Right.
So if you think of City Council as setting policy, and you think of city manager as setting operations.
Exactly. And that's kind of part of my hope in trying to educate people on. And if they came and they observed and they participated, and you're online, you're YouTube and you're online of all your meetings is phenomenal, has been struggling a little, and I know that we're trying to get that fixed.
Yeah.
What, do you think you've got the bugs worked out on it?
I'm going to tell you it's a work in progress right now. So our system was a little bit archaic. It was about 15 years old. So in the world of technology, that's pretty old.
That's like Stone Age.
So we had a capital project this year to go ahead and replace all of the cameras, adjust some audio components, and change a little bit about how the meeting is actually run from a visual standpoint on YouTube. So 2 weeks now we've been with the new system. We're still working out some bugs. Some of the speakers are echoing and some of the mics aren't loud enough. And so bear with us, we're working on it. And we are actually going to have another piece of that puzzle completed here around October, where we're going to have a different format for our agendas that we create for all of these meetings. So I would say that we've got a couple more months of working through some kinks. I think it'll be a little bit smoother next week, and it'll just keep getting better, but we are in this transitional period right now.
Well, I'm a big believer in participation because the difference between watching an NFL game and sitting in the stands is the experience of coming here, sitting here, and watching how your government functions. And I don't think the video and the audio does justice in the reactions and conversations with your citizens and what they're saying and how they're presenting things. And honestly, I love the end. The best part of the whole meeting is at the very end when the city council members, within their sunshine rules, bring up and talk about things that no one's even heard of before, ideas or concepts or things that are happening, which I have to jot down and go, well, I'm going to bring that up next meeting because public doesn't get a chance to speak. Are our city meetings open to the public, transparent, and is there a time frame or a time limit and how long the meeting can go?
Yes, so they're definitely open to the public. We post them on our city website. They're publicly noticed. We do news releases. The local media helps us get the word out. And there is a section of our city charter that talks about the meetings, and there is a deadline for the end of the meeting. It cannot go past 11 p.m. And if they're getting close to 11 p.m. and they think they can wrap it up pretty quickly, they can have consensus to extend the meeting to 11:30 p.m. If it goes past 11:30, then the meeting is meant to resume the following morning at 9 a.m.
Oh, okay.
And so we used to have 2 business meetings, one at night and one in the morning, one at 6 p.m., one at 9 a.m., and then one workshop at 9 a.m. And this past year, they voted to keep the business meetings the same, but then to add another workshop and have it be at 6 p.m. so that now there's 4 meetings a month, 2 at night, 2 in the morning. And there have been meetings that last as long as 8 hours, and it just depends on conversations, the context of the agenda items. There are some very, very detailed items, especially when you talk about land use and those sorts of things.
Yeah, and I have been the only one in here at the tail end of those meetings. And they're valuable and they're important because I pay for it. It's my money that is out there. It is your money that they're talking about spending and they're trying to decide. And plus, I want to understand. And they did a great job in last Tuesday. I think Ray Tyner did a good job of trying to describe the land purchasing and all of that mechanism and how the whole process. And it's important. And the nice thing, it's all on tape. You can go back and look at it. And we know that some of our residents tend to live looking at those things over and over again. But so the technology is improving. We're going to make it better, but I recommend you take a moment to come in here and participate and watch and see what's going on. And I think, and I applaud the city council constantly, they do hear, they do listen.
Oh yeah.
They do pay attention. Your voice is heard. And I know that you were at the joint meeting last week, and I wanted desperately to be here on Tuesday to really thank the council members for bringing up the library.
Yeah.
Because even though truly that's nothing that this city can do,
Right.
they took 20 minutes out of the commissioner's time to talk about their concern.
Right.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And that's an important takeaway that the citizens need to realize. You have a voice. You're heard. It's value added to come in here and participate and be, whether it's the Belvedere, that's another great example of the citizens saying, I don't know if I like having a huge 5 million gallons of fuel in my backyard,
Yeah.
because what I won't tolerate, what I don't like hearing is, I don't have a voice. I'm not going to come in there because they don't listen. And then give me 20 minutes of examples of they do.
Yeah.
And so I think that was amazing, and I applaud Teresa and Ty, all of them, for going to the county and going, hey, you need to realize this library is important to us in Palm Coast,
Yeah.
and we're going to hold you accountable to show us how we're benefiting from it all.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of stuff that I like to bring up and promote and talk to people about, because no one else is doing it.
Yeah.
And it's not something I think are really, unless we get the town hall meetings, and we do have a town hall meeting coming.
Yeah, on the 21st at 5 p.m. at the community center with Councilmember David Sullivan.
And I want that room to be full. I want every person to take 20 minutes out of their time to go down there and let him know that he's appreciated, or you have questions or whatever that's going on.
Yeah, he's a wealth of information too, because he served for 8 years at the county, and he didn't have to take this job. He was filling a vacancy, and to have somebody with that kind of experience come in for a very short period of time, in 26, that will be replaced by an elected person. But he really just wanted to help. He lives in the community. He wants to be helpful while he can. So, we're hoping a lot of people come out. He's very in tune with what he wants to talk about that day. We've worked on a presentation together for him to give. So I think it'll be a great opportunity for people to come out, learn a little bit more about the city, and be able to get their questions answered. And all of the town halls have been very, very beneficial.
Yeah, and I've attended all of them so far. I would say that,
I want to just jump in and say,
Yeah.
they've been fantastic, but why the low turnout? Any ideas on why nobody showed up?
No bagels.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to gauge the reasoning of why. We've tried different times, different locations. We would love to have the rooms be full. I think Councilmember Miller's room was pretty full, but we were in a smaller room, So if we needed to, we could have the huge room at the community center every time. But I don't know. I think that this is an ongoing initiative, and as we're getting started, it's okay. If we can talk to one person and give them more information than they had before they came, I think that's beneficial. And it really, maybe the smaller setting allows people to ask more of their questions and get more Q&A in. And them not being, feel like they're stepping on someone else's toes by asking a question and not having enough time for everybody. So I think they've been great. I think the people who've come have enjoyed them and really gotten to see that their council members are their neighbors and they're human, so they can sometimes take a beating up there, but they really are trying to do what they feel like is best for the community. And so we're going to keep doing it. And so I hope more people will come out, but if we only get 20 or 30 people, that's okay too.
well, and I know there's been some challenge about the enrollment process, and I understand the reason behind trying to get a number of who's going to show, but that process is challenging at best.
Yeah.
And I'm an IT guy, and I went through the entire step of going through that third-party group to sign up, and it worked 1 out of 2 times. So, and the other feedback, and I talked to Ty afterwards, and I asked him, I says, you guys were gone, and I said, so you have an hour, you always go over, And of that hour, you have a 20-minute presentation when really the people are there to ask and to have questions.
Right.
So the feedback I gave him was the presentation's really good and available, and all that information is already on your website. And they always went long with questions and answers.
Right.
So, but yes, they work for us. They were elected by us or given the position due to transition of an elected official, and they listen, they hear. There are so many examples of conversations that occur. You've heard them. We've been in the room where someone comes up and says something and follow through occurs. Something gets fixed. Very rarely does that person come back and go, hey, thanks for fixing my trash issue, or I appreciate you with my culvert or whatever. And we need to have more of that. I'm a big believer in really raising up the successes of things that are going on, because there are so many of them that are going on within this city with half, as I say to Ty, it says, you do really good with half with one of your hands tied behind your back, because that's what they deal with up there and everything that's happening. So any last thoughts, anything that you feel that you want to say? Yeah, upcoming of anything that you can direct people to, because that's what we're here today, to help people get informed of what's happening within the city, and you guys are those people.
Yeah, I think if you go to our website, palmcoast.gov, the homepage alone has a wealth of information. So you'll see our most recent news releases. You'll see the upcoming events that are featured there. We have the town hall that we just spoke about. We have our concert series. We have
Water treatment plant tour.
Water treatment plant tours are coming up. Food Truck Tuesday is always a popular event. So everything that's coming up will be right there. We've got, we're coming into our fall event season, which is very busy. So we'll have the Pink Army 5K. We'll have our Feet to Feast 5K. We'll have our tree lighting ceremony and all of our great parades. We're actually taking over the boat parade this year, and our Starlight Parade. So tons and tons of events coming up. The whole Central Park will be transformed with lights, coming up in November. So our homepage is probably the first place I would send you to get the most recent information, and then also to sign up for our e-newsletter that comes out every Friday at 5.
I get it. It's amazing. It's great, and I speak to it all the time, because there's more things going on that people can't imagine.
Yeah.
And amazing things the city is offering.
If you have a local civic group or any kind of organization that's looking for a guest speaker, we always welcome that. We have our city council members that are always willing to participate. Or if there's specific questions, stormwater, utility, if you just want to hear from our city manager, all of those things, we can help set up. So if you'll email communications@palmcoast.gov.com, we'll make sure that we can get somebody to come out and speak at your event.
Excellent.
I mean,
Shannon, come
I think
on,
we've
you're the
said-
powerhouse
I think
over
we've
there.
said it all, but I would like to also say that, our council members are great. The guys and girls that work here at the city of Palm Coast are really putting in the effort day in and day out to keep the city running. They care about the community. A lot of them live in this community too. And it's just a pleasure to work here and work with those people and work with Brittany and really be able to tell the story of all the great things that are happening here. And if you have time, if you can, come out to a meeting, come out to one of the events, and sign up for Citizens Academy, because I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do.
I can tell.
So
You were very invested in it. Which is pride. I mean,
Right.
and we should have pride in what's happening with this city.
Yeah.
And not be spending all of this time so negative about things that are happening. That's happening in every city. These challenges that we're having are not Palm Coast alone. They're everywhere.
Right.
yeah,
But the excitement of things that are happening here, it's just amazing. So
I don't like to live in a negative space. I don't like to, and you can get buried in the doom scroll, and you can look and you can say, oh my gosh, this is bad. But when you go outside and you walk around City Hall, you walk around the pond, or you go to Waterfront Park, or you go to Food Truck Tuesday, you go to the summer concert series, you see families, you see every generation of people that live in this community, work in this community, out enjoying it.
Absolutely.
And I feel like in our department especially, every department is great here, but we really get to see firsthand, we get to see all of the work that goes into putting those things on, and then we get to see everybody enjoying it. So that's what I love about, I don't know if you asked me that, but I'm just gonna tell you, that's what I love about it.
We're all trying to do that because
Yeah.
hope and belief and positivity will get us through whatever is happening.
Absolutely.
And I don't have much time or effort dealing with drama. You know, I'm just kind of too old to deal with that. I've raised my 2 sons. They're having their own drama now. So, guys, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes to share and talk and hopefully empower our citizens to participate, because that's what it's about. That entire sunshine law, I was telling this the other day, the whole intent of that was to provide and protect us, the citizens, to make sure we're aware of what's happening in our city. It's for you. The whole thing is for you. These guys, they don't want to sit up here for 8 hours and listen to a presentation that they've seen 50 times.
Maybe some of them do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't speak for their legs.
I can tell you, I've sat in many of them, and it's all about us.
Yeah.
And that's the message that I'm trying to get the citizens to understand. The amount of energy, the amount of focus, the amount of money that this city spends just to inform and to ask for participation and share is kind of the core of what is going on. And that's why those people are sitting up there and went through that election and everything that's happening. All right, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Thank
hope
you
you
for
found
doing
this enjoyable. We're constantly trying to reach a segment of the population that is growing with the younger people, and you know, podcasting seems to be the new world. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for participating. Remember, like and subscribe. Subscribing is free. And leave comments. You know, I've got a Facebook page. I also have a Gmail account. I want to hear your thoughts like they do. We all want to hear how better we can provide information and what questions you have.
But do you have a survey?
I do not.
Oh, maybe.
You know, but it is getting close to that 2-year survey.
Nobody does
again.
surveys like we
Coming up in
do.
January.
I know.
Roll them out.
That is a whole. We'll have that. We'll
Do another
We'll do another
episode
one
two.
after the
Part 2.
survey comes out, because it's really important.
Yeah.
All right, guys. With that, I'm going to let you go. Really appreciate you stopping by, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.